Good morning, everybody. It's John for Father's Rights, my anti-human trafficking and anti-child neglect YouTube channel. It's 2:07 a.m., July 26, 2025. I'm answering another question. In what tense are the family of my wife, including my wife, what are they guilty of? So this AI helped me out, and it's pretty much spot on. So I'm gonna read this, and please excuse me if you hear inflections of anger, because they did this to a girl that I considered family, and I'm hoping that they don't allow somebody to do this to my daughter. So you could, if you hear any my tone changing and getting more angry, it's because of that reason. And New York City, they become so woke, the authorities, that they'll believe any stupid story that comes out of a woman's mouth, even though the woman's doing something very horrible, and they just refuse to listen to you because of hashtag believe all women. I've overcome that. They were actually trying to put me in prison. Well, that was stopped and squashed, thankfully, from the DA and my lawyer. And I'm going to see that everybody gets punished for the part in what they did. And what they did is right here in front of you. What is a child molesting enabler? So let me take a deep breath and calm down, because sometimes it's hard to breathe when you've been stabbed in the back. And now they're going to probably change my daughter into a man-hating woman for no reason than to cover up the true monsters that they are. Now let's continue. A child molesting enabler refers to an individual who knowingly or reasonably should know the child's sexual abuse is occurring and fails to report it to the appropriate authorities, therefore allowing the abuse to continue. That's basically what I found out May 23rd, about 2 years ago. That's when I actually had proof in my hand that they did this, and they admitted it. This definition emphasizes the enabler's actions or lack thereof contributing to the perpetration of harm to a child. Well, they didn't do anything except comply to the child victimizer and still allowed him to have access to her and actually take custody of her. That's really bad across state lines. So from what I understand, since he did cross state lines, there is an argument between the state of Connecticut and the state of New York who's going to have jurisdiction over this. But since they crossed state lines, it should be in the FBI's hands, which means it's going to take really long. Key elements of child molesting enabler's role. Now let's just see the roles that my wife and her family played in this. The first thing they bring up is knowledge or reasonable suspicion. The individual is aware of the abuse or has reason to believe it's happening. They knew exactly that it was happening, and they actually knew this was horrible. That's why they kept it hidden from me, because they knew my reactions would have been to do the right thing and have this guy thrown in jail for a long time. And all the people that enable this should also be in the same cell with them. Let them have a party together in their depravity. Failure to act. They did not report the abuse to law enforcement or child protection services. I had to do it when I found out, and I had to have proof of it too, and I did get it. Impact. Their inaction allows the abuser to continue their harmful acts and the child to suffer further abuse. That happened. Basically, at 15 years old, the girl was given given to him in marriage. 8 months pregnant, 15 years old in February. She just turned 15 in December. Enabling behaviors can include denying or minimizing, ignoring or downplaying the abuse to themselves or others. You see, that's the girl over there, downplaying the abuse to themselves or others, right? That's enabling behavior. When the girl that is abused doesn't want to press charges on her abuser because they've been married for a long time, right? And you're ignoring and downplaying the abuse, you're going to allow this man to continue his abuse. Maybe not on you, maybe on your children, your relatives' children. You understand why I could possibly be upset about this? Or you're just going to ignore it and put in some man-hating spiel in there. Covering up and making excuses. Actively hiding the abuser's actions or justifying their behavior. Yeah, they done that too. To an extreme, I might tell you. And this child's abuser, his abuse doesn't stop just in his home. He's actually running a Ponzi scam. United Wealth Education Services, or whatever they call it. And he's his actual victims are single mothers. He targets them. Protecting the abuser, shielding the abuser from consequences and accountability. Well, that's what the whole wedding was. They shielded him from being accountable. At the wedding, when the girl was 15 and the man was 31, he wasn't in any of the wedding pictures. A wedding without a groom. Gee, I wonder why they did that. Failing to intervene, allowing the abuse to continue without taking steps to stop it. In my wife's context, not only is she guilty about this, and her family's guilty about this, she also was abusing and neglecting my daughter by not sending her to school, hiding that from me until a teacher came and told me. I told her to get out of the house. She snuck my daughter out, and the neglect was amplified even after CPS told her to stop. And he offered her tons of help. And it still continued. Not only did it continue, it doubled every year thereafter. They need to be sued, man. CPS needs to be sued. It is important to understand that enabling can be unintentional and may stem from misplaced loyalty. This is my wife's problem. Fear of conflict or retaliation, or desire to maintain relationships. And this part is applied to my soon-to-be ex-wife, because I want nothing to do with such a disgusting person that does this stuff. But she was worried about upsetting her mother, who condoned all this. Her mother who would probably applaud this because it brought money into the family, because that's all her mother was worried about, because her mother simply thought that the world owed her something, that she didn't have to work, she was to be waited on. However, the consequences of enabling child sex abuse are severe and can cause significant harm to the child victim. So God knows, if you are the child victim and now you're an adult and you don't see this as wrong, when he starts to do it to his own children or somebody else's children, it's your fault. And you know who I'm talking to. It's your fault. if he does this to another girl or a young child. You understand what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to protect my child. And just because your family didn't care about you doesn't mean I didn't. This is why I'm upset. The only person that ever cared about these children after watching them be abused and actually say something about it, he's the bad person. In some jurisdictions, enabling child abuse is considered a crime and can carry serious penalties, including imprisonment. These bitches should be in prison, along with the friggin' creep that they're protecting. And that's about it. It's all self-explanatory. Go to the AI and ask them this question: what is a child molesting enabler? Any of you guys out there are victims of this kind of shit, where they tried to put me in jail in order to cover up their crimes after I found out? They had to discredit me, but it all failed. Now it's my turn. And on that, I'm out of here. They should all be in jail. They're disgusting people. Female or male that does this, they're disgusting people. It has nothing to do with disliking the other gender. Oh, he's a man, misogyny. You allowed a man to rape your 14-year-old niece, cousin, whatever the hell she is. Your cousin allowed it, and now you think you should be trusted with other people's children. You're out of your goddamn mind. And on that, I'm out of here.